Epic Heroes Season 2. This is Class 12, the last class in the third section of the Forge It web series workshop. And today, as always for the last class of the section, we're talking about Epic Heroes. Now, there are choices that need to be made in terms of cast and crew of Epic Heroes for Season 2. Season 1 is already tied up. But there's choices that need to be made. Some of these choices have already been made. But the thing that I'm curious about, especially if you're coming to the series, the Forge It series, after Season 2 has already been written and shot, is would you have made the same decisions that you see implemented in Season 2? If you're taking the course live and we're still in the process of writing and shooting Season 2, then contribute your ideas, because you actually will have a say in some of these choices. Now, it has been decided for Season 2 in Epic Heroes that the cinematographer will not be me. In other words, the cinematographer and director will not be the same person. I've hired a separate crew member to handle that, and they will need to be paid, and that will bring the budget up from what it was in Season 1. However, I want to be able to direct my actors. I want to be able to really encourage the best performances as possible from them. I can't do that with a camera in front of my face, with a camera between me and my actors. So there will be a standalone cinematographer. I hope that other independent film and web series creators will learn from the struggle that I went through in Season 1. It's not impossible, but if you want rock solid performances from your actors, you need to be able to leave your camera mark and go and speak with them. Light and sound. I've decided to combine those two. Yes, it will make it a little bit more hectic. Yes, that will be a paid position. However, someone can move my lights for me, and after the lighting is all correct, position the boom mic appropriately. I think doubling up there will save me in terms of budget, but it will make sure that the lights are properly cared for, properly placed, and again, it will stop the cinematographer or the director from having to stop what they should be doing and adjust lighting. Sound, well, sound has to be there. It was one of our biggest challenges for Season 1, and we're simply not going to avoid using that beautiful boom mic for Season 2 and getting our best possible sound. I've decided to divide my producing team into 3 roles: 2 producers and an executive producer. One of my producers will be the set and talent manager. The set manager, what I mean by that is that individual, whoever takes this position, which again will be a paid position, though I have had it suggested to me that that is a perfect volunteer position because they don't have to deal with any actual fundraising. And we have had a plethora of people step forward and say, I'd really like to volunteer to help the series move forward. So I'm still up in the air about that, and I'm very curious, as you as the students, I'm very curious to hear your opinions on that. This producer will be the set manager. They're going to manage the props. Now, that means creating a kind of appropriate inventory for the existing props so that the writers, and yes, I did say writers plural, so that the writers and the actors know what they can pull from. But also, not only just creating that inventory system, which does not exist at this point, but making sure the right props get to the right locations on the right days. They'll also manage the talent, and what this means is emails to the talent, making sure they have the directions they need to the location, making sure that they understand everything that is needed from them that day, etc., etc. Our other producer on the producing team will handle funding and in-kind donations. Now, we've already talked about that. That doesn't mean that that producer will exclusively, all by themselves, create all the marketing materials. That's not the case. Both the writer and the director will help with that. But this producer will handle bringing in funds, and they will be paid a percentage of what they bring in. In-kind donations, well, that just brings down the overall funding that we need to make. And that's a good thing, because then it should be less work. And the executive producer on the producing team for Epic Heroes Season 2 will handle our budget, in other words, creating our original budget. They'll probably work with this producer very closely to do that. Creating our budget per episode, securing our locations for us, which is going to include scouting locations, and also spearheading all the tie-in products. Now, what I mean by that is the published scripts, the DVDs, the comics, the t-shirts, etc., etc. That may very well mean creating those materials, or it may mean hiring the people to create them. The executive producer will most likely actually be a volunteer position, or they will have a small stipend to offset the number of hours that they'll put into the project. Again, I'm trying to be very honest here and completely transparent. We don't have anything to hide. Epic Heroes runs as a nonprofit company, so all of our meeting notes and everything else are completely public. And we want to be transparent. We want that kind of honesty with this project in particular. I'm going to continue to work as the director of the series only because I think I have a very good grasp of who these characters are and what this world is. And especially since for season 2, we're going to be opening it up to other writers. I will not be writing all of the scripts. We're going to have basic outlines for each of the scripts, and we're going to be inviting writers from the community of actors and crew to write for the series. And we think that will be incredibly empowering. The quality control will still be there because as the director, I can help the writer guide the script so that it's true to the characters. But we want to be able to hear other takes, other adventures, and with the epic quest half of the episodes, we think people can really have a lot of fun. Actors. You've seen season 1 now, I'm sure, of Epic Heroes. Which actors stood out for you? Which actors did you want to see more of? Now, again, if you're taking this class live and you're in the first generation of students, then let me know. Who would you like to see come back for season 2? If you're coming to the series, the workshop series, later and season 2 is already posting, do you agree with the decisions? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well. The actors are still up in the air. We know some of the actors we'd like to invite back, but not all. Are there some actors we'd like to have come back in supporting roles, maybe multiple supporting roles, like Christopher Harris did in season 1? That's always fun. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on that. So as you can see, this is just one way of organizing a series. How you organize the crew and cast for your series is up to you. You may wind up wanting 4 different producers. You might have one producer who just does literally the creation and implementation, the design and implementation of the tie-ins. That would be perfectly fine. I tried to keep my cast and crew relatively compact, but if you have a large community of family and friends to draw on, there's no reason to do that. I'm trying again to utilize both volunteer and paid positions to keep our budget realistic. This is the kind of thing you want to think about. Again, in the previous classes, you saw the complete breakdown of these responsibilities, and now you're seeing one way to organize it. How you organize your series cast and crew is going to be completely up to you, but also it has to feel right to you. It has to feel natural. The division of tasks, the division of labor. So think about that, talk with others. You don't have to just use this as a template. It's just one example. There's no right or wrong. And if you have any questions, please remember, whether you're coming to the workshop series in August 2012 or January 2014, please feel free to email me, the instructor, at blueforgeproductions@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you immediately with answers. That's part of this series. I try to be accessible to the students at any stage in the game. All right, so go now, think about your series, how you want to organize your cast and crew, and give some thought. Epic Heroes, Season 2. What actors should we use? Crew positions, volunteer or not? I'm curious to hear your opinions. Thanks.